No, dead. They're all dead.
Mamma mia!
The following views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the producers, hosts, and or guests of the Bitter Marks podcast. We assume no responsibility for any errors or omissions in the content provided.
Listener discretion is advised.
Bitter Marks! Bitter Marks! What's up, smooth babies? Welcome to Bitter Marks. It's your favorite non-wrestling wrestling podcast coming to you in audio form every single Friday at bittermarks.com or wherever you get your podcast from, or coming to you every single Tuesday night live at 9:05. That's p.m. and that's Central Standard Time. Streaming from our YouTube page. Head on over to YouTube, search Bitter Marks Podcast, click on our channel, subscribe, do the notifications, do all that good stuff, and come be part of our show. Join the chat on our YouTube page. Ask us any questions you may have. Make fun of us. Send us directions to a local delicatessen. Do whatever you feel like, because this is also your show. Once again, that's live every Tuesday night, live at 9:05 p.m. Central Standard Time on our YouTube page. If this is your first time listening, thanks for checking us out. If you have questions for us or anything like that, feel free to email us, bittermarks@gmail.com. Generally, we don't reply, at least not for a couple weeks. But we're getting better, I promise. We got some emails this week. We're going to go over them. Peewee is over here hyping up people in the chat. I think it's just me and you in the chat, Peewee, so I don't know who's hyping who. But I guess I can announce you before I have a conversation with you. I'm your host. My name is Sasha, and I'm joined by my dear friend, the guy in the chat. It's Peewee.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm trying to get a little bit of energy going, not just here, but also in the chat. So far, we got Giuseppe in there and a handful of others who just haven't spoken up yet. What's going on, man?
Not too much. Giuseppe does say, does Sasha write the word "or" twice for his intro, or is that an ad-lib? That's an ad-lib. That is a reference to Scott Hall.
Scott Hall? I was going to ask you about that, because that's the second time you've done that, and it sounded very familiar, and my gut said Scott Hall, but I could not remember what cadence or what reference he would be making. When would he do that? Just in his...
He would take the mic and he would say, "Hey, yo." And then he would say, "Are you here to see WCW?"
Okay, yes. Keep going.
Or. And then whatever else he would say. I don't know. I'm not familiar with Scott Hall, so...
Okay, no, that rings a lot of bells. That makes sense. What's up, John in the chat? What's up, Hutsky in the chat? We are popping tonight. We got a hot start early. We got 4 likes, 8 viewers. We are going nuts already. I love this.
Madness. We are joined this week by the punctual prince of podcasting. From parts unknown Illinois, it's producer Tony.
What's up, everybody? It's been a while since we had some energy in the podcast.
Is that what we have? Are we bringing energy? Peewee is bringing energy.
Sounds like Peewee's hopped up on something because he had a long
I just had a thought. I had a long weekend of driving, but I also had a long weekend of not doing a podcast on Friday.
Oh,
it's been a very long time since I've gone a full week without doing a podcast, and I think that podcast energy is stored up and ready to explode on this Tuesday night.
So your energy is pent up.
Absolutely, I need to expel some energy.
I have some energy because I just had 6 blow pops, which you might hear more about that on the audio version of the podcast. If that's, I don't think that can pass YouTube filters, is what I'm trying to say. Nor my kidney filters or liver filters. But that's another story for another time. Peewee, you were out of the state, you were out of the town, you were out of the country. And I'm not just saying that because you live far away from me. How was your weekend? What'd you do? Where'd you go? Waste some time for us.
I had a busy weekend. I've had a busy few weeks. I've been getting ready for a bunch of video game shows and having Steph do her DDPY parties and blah, blah, blah. This weekend, I'm getting to the end of my busy schedule. The past weekend on Thursday afternoon, I had to leave to start driving to Texas for a video game show. Arrived there Friday afternoon, did the setup for the show Friday, did the show Saturday, Sunday. Right after the show closed on Sunday, I packed up, show ended at 5. I started packing up at 5:10. I was in my car by 5:45, and I was on the highway by 6 o'clock, headed back to Illinois. And I was back home I got a hotel that night and was back home by like 7 o'clock yesterday evening. So I'm literally fresh out of the car, less than 24 hours, maybe a little bit more than 24 hours, and it's good to be home.
How many podcasts did you listen to during your round trip?
I listened to podcast bell to bell. The entire it's 16 hours down there, 16 hours back, and it was there was no music, there was no silence the entire time. The only breaks I had was when Steph or my dad would call me, and I would talk to Connor for a little bit, and my dad just wanted to know how I was doing.
Wow.
Otherwise, it was just constant podcasts.
Now, give me some of your podcasts that were on your playlist, because I'm sure the Smooth Babies are curious.
Oh, sure. Good. If you've heard of the Bitter Marks. The Bitter Marks was my first choice. Now, I only listened to one episode of ours. I listened to
the Jerry Lynn.
Oh, this is very self-serving. I listened to episode 99, the episode that I hosted.
Awesome.
I listened to that. I saved a couple of the major wrestling figure podcast ones. They put out a ton of content every week, so I didn't listen to anything during the week last week. Waited for everything on Thursday, and that got me basically through most of Thursday. I listened to the Try Guys and the You Can Sit With Us, their wives, their podcast. I did one episode, which I haven't done in a while, of Something to Wrestle With, the Bruce Pritchard podcast, something I haven't listened to in a very, very long time. I used to listen to every episode they would drop, but I can't handle it anymore. So one episode was good there.
Coco Beware,
I tried some
Rick Martel. Which episode?
It was the very first In Your House. Yeah, and nothing really exciting happened. They just talked about giving away a house, how the name came to be, random stuff. One big one that I listened to was How Did This Get Made? This is a podcast where they just watch old bad movies and then break it down. It's Jason Mantzoukas, June Diane Raphael, and Paul Scheer. And very, very funny. Very, very... if you like old movies, if you've seen a lot of old movies, Sasha, this podcast would not apply to you.
Yeah, I was going to say.
If you've seen a bunch of old movies, they break down everything from like Space Jam to Ninja Turtles 2 to any bad movie that we had growing up. They definitely broke down. One that I just started listening to. You need a breakdown
of those, by the way?
Like, the way that they do it, yeah, it's funny.
I disagree
in general,
with never having heard of this podcast. I don't think it's necessary as a podcast.
What if he did one on Biodome or Son-in-Law or In the Army Now? I bet you'd be all over that, Sash.
That definitely may exist.
I disagree. I read the IMDb trivia and the goofs, and then I'm done. Like that. What else is there?
I smell a podcast segment coming up.
The last one, so I got all the way through Friday, and that's what I did while I was in Texas during Saturday and Sunday. I was like, I don't have a ton of podcasts to listen to on the way home. I need to get some suggestions. So I reached out to a handful of guys, and Mark Sterling got back to me. And after I asked him, hey, give me some podcast suggestions, he told me to download the Rewatchables. This is a Bill Simmons. I just noticed Tony's armbands. He's got the John Cena armbands on.
Always. I never take them off.
The Rewatchables, Bill Simmons and a couple other guests that he just brings on random people every week, and they do the same thing as How Did This Get Made, but they don't break down bad movies. They break down wonderful movies like The Rock, like Face Off,
hell yeah,
like Con Air.
That's what I'm talking. Nicolas Cage movies.
Yeah, right, exactly. Some good stuff. So that was a very good, a very entertaining find that I found. So I was very thankful to find that for the ride home on Monday.
I got one for you. I just started listening to Conan O'Brien's podcast. Where like,
is that good?
Yeah, I mean, I love Conan, and like he ain't doing shit anymore. So he does a podcast, and he invites like a celebrity. I listened to the one with Weird Al Yankovic, like it was about a month ago. So
okay,
solid podcast.
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah, I listened to that one when he has like guests that I like on it. Cause yeah, I'm with you. Like I could listen to Conan all day. I was recording his show still at night, like up until they stopped doing them a couple weeks ago. But then he started doing shows without guests that are like, I don't really know what the shows are because I haven't listened to them without guests. I'm guessing it's still probably good.
I haven't either. I haven't dug that deep into his podcast, but like if there's a good celebrity on that I want to hear about, I will listen to him.
Yeah, my podcast listening has gone like way down. I just talk to myself in my car now. That's
Oh, really?
Just record yourself talking.
Does that come in
no,
waves?
not even.
Like,
just talk.
you listen to a bunch of podcasts, you get burnt out, and then you.
That's how it was before, but then it got to a point where I'm like, I'm wasting my time listening to somebody else when I'm trying to like create something for people to listen to. Not like with our podcasts and with this stuff, but with like, comedy and trying to write jokes and stuff like that. I could be thinking of stuff and like saying it and practicing my cadence and all that kind of stuff while I'm driving, because you guys know I drive forever. But that's
a great use of your time. That's very surprising.
Yeah, I thought a couple months ago you were going to record a truck podcast where it was just you.
Yeah, This Week in Truck. I do. I have it
Absolutely.
ready to go. It's just I'm kind of like, I don't think this is good. Like it's just me rambling for a while.
How many episodes do you have in the can?
Yeah.
Oh, I have. I mean, like hours and hours and hours of recording.
How much is in the vault?
It's too much. I also have.
Oh, I need more information.
Yeah.
Do you have like catchphrases on the show that you like?
Segments? Yeah.
No. It's just like me trying to work stuff out while driving. That's what it is.
That would be hilarious if you had like full segment production intros
Yeah, right.
when like Flips and Bumps still doesn't have an intro music.
Yeah. I have all kinds of music.
Yeah,
and
all kinds of
themes and everything,
production.
yeah.
Yes.
Guests. Somehow I have guests on every episode.
Guests. Yeah.
Oh, Tony brought up Flips and Bumps. It is pertinent this week. I did another kind of self-serving podcast I listened to. It was the Flips and Bumps podcast, but that was mainly because I wasn't on it this week, and Sasha released his own episode. I guess this would kind of be like the trucking podcast. Like, this was just Sasha talking for an hour. If you want to hear Sasha talk for an hour about interesting stuff, definitely check out the Flips and Bumps podcast, whatever episode is the most recent one. I thought he did a fantastic job on his own. I was blown away.
I listened to it as well, Sasha, and you did a great job. I have hosted some Scoop and Poop podcasts solo before, and those are like 20 minutes, and they feel like they're like 8 hours long. Like when you're doing it, like you feel like it's taking forever. But I think you had good flow. It was entertaining, and a
lot of people reached out. And like, sure, they're all my friends, but like they don't reach out for the other episodes. So a lot of people were like, "Hey, like, good job doing a solo episode and talking." I can't believe I went over an hour. I legitimately thought it would be 20 to 30 minutes. I'm okay with how it turned out. Like I tried listening to like bits and pieces of it, and I'm like, okay. But like while you're recording it, you're just trying to talk as much as you possibly can because you think it's nothing but dead air. So you're just like rambling, and then you get tired, and then you stop rambling, and I think that's when it gets better. But the worst part was not being able to drink water. Like every time Peewee talks on this show, I drink water, and like it helps me.
Yeah,
and that
you gotta
podcast,
stay
I had to
hydrated,
stop.
baby.
Like it was pretty messed up.
Yeah, and I also heard something else on that podcast, and I sent an email about making boxes, and I'm still waiting for that YouTube video, sir.
Me too. I could not follow along with whatever you were talking about.
I was like trying to picture it. He's like, okay, don't cut the box, but cut it a little bit. And I'm like, you lost me, bro. But you did propose a deal.
Yes, I did. First of all, I apologize for not being able to answer your question. I try to be super prepared in everything I do. And that was one thing where I was like, I know how to make boxes to ship VCRs, okay? I don't need to practice or write notes for this. And then when I started doing it, I was like, how do I describe this? Like the situation. And it needs to be done with a camera. And in fact, I got 2 cameras. I'm going to set them up. I'm going to make a custom video. I'm going to address you in the video, not even other people. It's just going to say, Tony, this is for you.
Cut a promo, too, while you're doing it. That'd be great.
But the one thing, you're right. I did offer you, because you just want to get rid of those DVD VCR combos, correct?
Absolutely. They've been in my basement for like 4 or 5 months. They
work. They have remote controls. I'm all in. Like, you could have whatever you want of mine. But the what I offered you was some golfing.
Yes.
So what are you thinking here?
So
go ahead.
No,
go
ahead, Peewee.
I was going to say, before you jump on this offer that Sasha's giving you, I want you to keep in mind that I live 2 miles from your house, and that I have plenty of boxes that you do not have to cut that are the size for a VCR, and that I can easily drop off at your doorstep.
No, those are weak boxes. You don't want those boxes.
Well, the initial offer for those who haven't heard it was I have 3 VHS DVD combos with remotes, and they all work. I tested them like a couple weeks ago. And I am lazy, and I don't know how to ship. So, like, Sasha's like, what did you offer me? 2 rounds of golf?
Yeah, 2
For
rounds of
3
golf.
VCR DVDs.
Yes, because you have 3 of them, and they all work, and they all have remotes. And I figure...
Negotiate, Tony. Negotiate here, Tony.
Well, I'm kind of in a pickle here. Because, as you know, I love golfing. And I
knew it would get you. I
love hanging out with Sasha.
Interest.
I don't get to do it very often. But one of those VHS DVD combos is already spoken for.
Oh.
I guess Jen's mom has some old fucking family footage that she wants to watch or some crap. Okay. So I will offer a counter offer. 2 VHS DVD combos of your choosing. You can pick whichever ones you want. For 1 round of golf down in parts unknown.
How much is a round of golf?
It's like $30 to $60 down here. So.
Oh, 60. Okay, $60 is a big deal.
Yeah,
but
I was thinking $10.
No.
No. See, when we're gonna go to a nice place,
we're going to a real course. We're not going to Apple Orchard or.
I was absolutely picturing Apple Orchard.
I will be wearing a polo shirt. Yes. And still the same shorts that I always wear every day that you guys have ever seen me. But it will be with a polo shirt. I'm in. However, here's the thing. I went golfing this weekend. I am now a golf professional.
Whoa.
And
got a badass over here.
And my partner that I golf with actually was like, hey, we should go golf with Tony. Not knowing like anything that was going on. No negotiation. He just wants to golf with you. So as long as I can bring him, and then we can go, and maybe Putski will go with us, or somebody, I don't know who lives in your neck of the woods. It's a long neck of the woods. You know, it's like a
very long
giraffe.
Neck. Yes.
Of the woods.
A brontosaurus.
Yeah. I don't know. I think a deal can be made. I accept those terms.
All right, we need to find a 4th. If you're bringing another guy, we got to get another 4th to fit in the foursome because there's 2 guys to a cart, and if there's 3 guys, it's going to be weird because the one guy's going to be, driving by himself all day. We don't want
that. So my guy is Dogan. We all know Dogan.
Oh yeah, he wants revenge from the Billy Joe Travis.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Memorial Crockett Cup.
Still bringing it up.
Invitational Championship.
Still bringing it up this week. Also found out that his initials are KC. KC Dogan.
Wow.
That's incredible. Don't worry about what his real name is. Also known as Dog the Bounty Hunter to some of the locals in the area. We went golfing this weekend. We went to the luxurious Apple Orchard Resort. And we were tied going into the final hole.
Wow.
And he had to hit a 10 to 12 foot putt to win and for par. And he buried it.
Nice.
I shot a 40. He shot a 39, which is way better than either one of us shot at the Billy Joel Memorial. But yeah, he was definitely like, we got to go and golf with Tony. And I was like, can I go? And he's like, I don't care. I want to go golf with Tony, and I need a ride because I don't know where he lives.
Okay. Well, we're going to hook up soon on this, but one more thing. To sweeten the deal to make this happen, I'm going to throw in my VHS copy of The Empire Strikes Back, which I purchased.
I'm out.
To test the VHS part of the DVD combos. So
Didn't
I don't want this goddamn
multiple
tape.
Goodwills to find that as well?
I did. I went to Goodwill. They didn't have any goddamn VHS. So I went to Half Price Books, and they had 8 copies of Empire Strikes Back. So I'm like, okay, I'll take one of them.
Amazing.
Let's go.
Before we move on, go ahead.
I'm going to smash that immediately, though. I'm not into that stuff.
Is that a deal breaker? Free stuff?
Yeah.
I want to throw out a thank you in the chat. Speaking of your truck podcast, Putski said that you should have a Roadkill of the Week segment. Giuseppe said a weekly picture of Santino on his phone instead of paying attention to the road delivering bread. And CU Comedy says that your first guest should be the cop who pulls you over for recording a podcast while driving.
Guys, this isn't a podcast about trucks. That's all I got to say. This is just me rambling in a truck. And with the acronym TWIT, I think it's perfect. But yeah, all those are actually great ideas, and I will do those. I really do have possibly like 3 pictures of Santino driving with his head down. It's unbelievable. I saw him today. No joke. If you know where he used to live, it was right over there.
Oh yeah, tree ball.
Speaking of which, Giuseppe, he was very upset last week because we did not mention Sam Cassell as one of the Houston Rocket greats.
Yes.
Yeah,
Unfortunate looking man, but yes.
Yeah, very good call. I don't consider him a full-fledged Rocket. I would consider him a Minnesota Timberwolf with Latrell Sprewell. But that's only if I have to argue with Giuseppe. Like, otherwise, he's a Houston Rocket, and that's a really good call. Also, by the way, Kenny the Jet Smith, we forgot about him. And we forgot about Zahn Tabak, who I found out today his real name is Jean Tabak, which I've been calling him Zahn Tabak for 25 years. I know you guys don't know who he is, but I think he's like Polish or Czechoslovakian. And so he's obviously 7 feet tall and used to play for the Rockets. But that's enough Rocket talk. Let's talk whatever is next on my list here. Stand-up comedy. How about that?
Hey, was there more? You did
There's
more?
more. There's more. I had a really awkward moment this week. And I thought that you guys might be of interest to this, at least a couple of you. I know Giuseppe for sure will be interested in this. I went to a couple open mics this week, and one of them I walk in and I saw a name on the list, and I said, because it was somebody I knew also doing comedy.
Awesome.
Whoa.
And it didn't say Tweak, and it didn't say Damien. It said Jim Flanagan.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Jim
Still
Flanagan.
doing it, huh? Still doing it.
And I was like, oh man, I love Jim Flanagan. I saw him at AEW the last time we were there. I was like walking down the hall and he shouted my name. I've always gotten along with him. He's awesome. I'm a big fan. But I don't want to do comedy in front of him. So I saw his name on the list and I was like, oh man. And I looked around and he wasn't there. And then he came in like literally right before I went up. And so I went up and I did my jokes and I saw him and he saw me and he was awesome. I got off stage and he gave me one of these like, what are you doing here? You know, that look.
That's great.
And I went over and I talked to him and he was like the nicest person. Like he's just always been a very nice person to me. And so he was like, dude, this joke is awesome. You got to like do more with this and blah, blah, blah. And he was just like so excited and so happy.
Notes for you.
Yeah.
That's
and then,
cool.
and he was hilarious. He was like, can you take notes for me while I'm doing my set? And I was like, what? He was like, it's a joke. I was like, oh, he's a comedian.
That's a good joke.
But the thing is also, I'm not going to give away his jokes here, but he did talk about getting back into baseball card collecting over the COVID times. And I was like, oh my God. And so I think I got to get Flanagan on this podcast eventually. But I don't know. I didn't want to like bother him and talk to him. And then like later he was talking to other comedians who like are good and stuff. And I'm not good. I'm not good in public over there. It's hard enough for me to like go and try and do this stuff, let alone try and talk to people afterwards. So afterwards I just disappeared. But it was just like awkward seeing. And I know there's another guy who does comedy like around here who we went to high school with. And I'm like, I don't know the guy, but I know I went to high school with him. Like he sat in front of me or something. And I'm just like, all right, well, I'm pretty sure I'm going to see that guy too. I got to say something. Like you can't I'm not going to sit behind him at the comedy place and not say something like I did in high school. So
I can't tell you how many times in my life when I was in high school, people asked me if I was related to Jim Flanagan.
Oh, to Flanagan?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Because we're both ginger, a little chubbier men. Well, he was back in the day. I don't know if he is now, but yeah. So every time I was walked out, hey, are you related to Jim? Are you related to Jim? No, I'm just another ginger kid. Sorry,
He's
bro.
good, man. He was really, really funny. It's cool seeing people like that who also like, like he's trying to do the same thing as me. Obviously, we're just like trying to tell jokes and see what works and what doesn't. So it's kind of cool to see someone that is like very good and well known out here. I mean, he played Zanies this weekend, like
right
in Rosemont.
He's been doing it forever, like over 20 years.
I mean, me and Giuseppe went to see him 20 years ago in like Warrenville or something. But it was awesome to see him, but it was also just kind of like nerve wracking and just like a weird situation. But more importantly, Jim Flanagan, yes, he played Zany's this weekend, Zany's Rosemont, but it was a like late night show because the other person playing earlier in the night, Bobcat Goldthwait, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah.
And I couldn't find anybody
fan.
to go because nobody wants to go with me to these things. And I wouldn't have gone anyway because I found out later it was very expensive. But I found out that Bobcat Goldthwait lives in DuPage County.
Whoa.
How awesome is that? So after Flanagan's on this podcast, we're getting Bobcat.
Man,
Live.
we stopped drinking at the wrong time. We could have like hung out with Bobcat Goldthwait.
I don't
at some
think
point.
Bobcat Goldthwait drinks or does anything now either.
Oh.
He's an older man, and Megan didn't want to go see him because she's like, I don't like his Police Academy character, and I'm like, that's not what he does. He like speaks like a human being, and we should go support him. But yeah, how crazy is that he
That's
lives
awesome. Bobcat
somewhere?
Goldthwait is the like. I think I bought 3 comedy CDs in my life. I mean, this is not a great list for Bobcat to be on, but just to give you an idea of how limited my comedy CDs are, I think it's a Jeff Foxworthy, a Bobcat Goldthwait, and a Dane Cook CD. Right?
That
But
all
that's-
that checks out. I was gonna say a country guy, and so that's a country guy.
Nailed it.
That's
Yeah.
Jeff. Yeah, there you go.
And everybody
Yeah.
listened to Dane Cook when we were like 18 or whatever. Like,
Yeah, before we knew he stole all of his jokes.
yeah.
Piece
Now
of
we only
crap.
listen to Carlos Mencia and nothing else. Anyway, let's move on. Daryl Strawberry was in my town signing autographs this week too. That's all I'm gonna say about that. If you need to know more, I'll send you a picture of the ad. But Dogan was really pissed because he wanted to go to that, but he also wanted to go to the pool because it was a hot day, and he ended up going to the pool.
Is that the thing? Was Hogan at that?
I don't think so. It was a church down the street from my house.
was Hogan at a church in Bartlett?
Oh, amazing. No, there's some Chicago like sports autograph convention thing where a bunch of like sports figures are coming in. Like Hogan is the only wrestling figure that's going to be there. But apparently this was not it.
Let's talk some figs. How about that? Zombie
Okay.
Sailor, the guy we always bring up. He's the man. Jeff Jarrett figure is coming out tomorrow. Did I send you a picture of the Jeff Jarrett or no?
No, you sent me a picture of the other one.
It looks great. I think I'm going to possibly, quite possibly, pick that up. But
Pick that up.
I always say that, and then I never get it. So, who cares?
I would suggest you do it tonight. You can do it tonight with the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast has a pre-order. Like
Yeah, I saw that, but I'm not in there, and that's your thing. And
okay, that's fine. I thought we were in there, but I gotcha.
I mean, I don't pay for it. I don't think so.
It's a company card.
What else? Okay, so Zombie's got like a bunch of more people that he signed. I don't know when all these are going to come out. It's unbelievable though. He
Sounds
signed
like
Rob
the next
Van Dam.
decade he's got lined up.
He signed Raven. He signed Bill Alfonso, which was the newest
Oh,
one
he
I
did
saw.
sign Bill Alfonso? I didn't,
yeah.
I suggested that to him like 2 days ago. Just because he has RVD, he's got Sabu. You got to have Bill Alfonso. That's great.
And then how about Jack Tunney? How do you even
Yeah.
sign Jack Tunney?
Right? Who do you reach out to? He's not still with us, correct?
I can't imagine he's still alive.
I mean, he's Canadian. They live a long time.
Right?
Is there a Jack Tunney Jr.? Will he get a figure as well?
The
Look
Tunney
at this figure,
estate.
though.
Look at this.
I just want those blueprints. That's incredible.
Look at that suit. That's impressive.
I might have to buy a Jack Tunney figure.
That'd be great.
Does he have another figure?
No, this is absolutely his only figure.
Unbelievable. And then, like, it was also San Diego Comic-Con weekend.
Yeah.
So, like, a billion different things came out, of all these different figures, WWE, Mattel, whatever types of figures. A lot of cool figures. But the one that really stuck out to me was this one's for Hattori Hanzo, the Roddy Piper, but it's from the movie They Live.
Yes.
This
That's
is very cool.
That's a pretty sweet figure, and I think that Hanzo tried getting it, but it sold out. Or at least
I don't think it's not a Comic-Con exclusive. I don't think this will
Okay.
be in stores. They're doing a whole Hollywood line where it's like The Rock in one of the Fast and Furious. I think it's
Cena too, right?
Cena in a Fast and Furious. Yeah, there's a whole bunch. I think they announced the Series 2 as well. This is not the first Roddy Piper They Live figure. Are you aware of that?
Wow.
Yeah,
It is a
NECA.
cult classic, so it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, NECA did. I'll put them up side by side. Can I do
He's
this?
here to kill zombies and chew bubblegum. Or no, kick ass and chew bubblegum, and he's all out of bubblegum, right? Is that the
Yes,
line?
there you go. Yeah. So I don't know which figure I like better. I like them both.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
I also have never seen this movie.
It's not good.
Really?
No.
I've seen that one part that you were talking about over and over again on WWE programming, but I've never.
It's like
I've
one of
never
those
seen that.
cult classics that's so bad that people like really are into it. Like, what is the one that The Room? I think is one of those movies.
Yeah, and then they made a movie about the guy who made that
Right.
that movie or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Giuseppe says They Live is the movie that was on almost every time we had poker nights at my parents' place.
Okay. I would
yeah.
love. Putski says along the lines of this this Piper, the Hollywood series. Putski says Hogan and Mr. Nanny ? I would absolutely love that figure, but I believe it's only Universal movies that they can do. As of right now, I think it's Universal. It's the same, whatever it is. It's the same studio owns all the movies that they've released. So it's not that they can do anybody as of right now, and they could definitely work out other deals. But as of right now, it's just from a specific studio.
Is there a like Suburban Commando figure like Hogan? That would be
No, there's not. But that would be that one is very like. I mean, Hogan in a tutu is very good from
Yeah.
Mr. Nanny, but
Yeah.
Suburban Commando Hogan would be. I mean, you can't beat that.
I want the Suburban Commando Undertaker because he was in that
Oh,
movie
yeah.
too.
Oh yeah.
I'll kill you, Ramsey.
Yeah.
Thunder in Paradise Hogan, Thunder in Paradise Brutus. Oh yeah, there's the Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, look at
Hell
this
yeah.
Jarrett. This
That's-
thing is gorgeous.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a very solid Jeff Jarrett figure. The face. What do you think about the face?
I don't know. He looks like he's 19.
I've heard people complain about the face, and I think like after looking at it for so long, I was kind of like, maybe it's not that Jeff Jarrett looking. But the figure to me is like
I don't care. I'm not looking
yeah.
at the face. I'm looking
Yeah.
at the straps. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Does it come with a guitar?
A good question. I don't know if he's doing accessories.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll
Either.
3D print you a guitar, Sasha. You can just put it right on his.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I actually did get the old one, the old Jeff Jarrett figure that he's wearing a shirt that says "Don't tick me off" because they couldn't write "piss me off."
There you go.
And he's got a guitar that also says like this
Don't tick me
guitar is a pipe bomb or whatever it says on there. Let's do some emails. We got some emails this week, and we checked the email box before we did this show. So we got some emails here. The first one, this one is from Oculus at email.com. It says there's a safety recall on Quest 2 detachable facial interface. Peewee, what do you think about this?
So this is a legitimate email. I've talked about this before. How I have
Oh,
VR.
yeah.
I've definitely.
Sasha said he was going to read every receipt that you buy and everything. So he's keeping up
makes
with
sense.
his word here.
No, if you want the honest opinion, I've already replaced that piece months ago. I found a better piece online. You can like kit bash and make your own VR set as best you need. I found a much comfier piece compared to the one that is susceptible to breaking or whatever they sent out the recall about.
Next email comes from our dear friend Hattori Hanzo. Subject line, "Is that Jesus?" in quotation marks. And then he says, "No, this is Bruiser Brody. He was also murdered, but in Puerto Rico, in a locker room shower.
Jesus.
I can see how the long hair, beard, and bloody forehead confused you. By far the best conversation I have had because of a wrestling shirt. Thank you, ironically titled 1 Hour Tease." Gotta love it.
I would love
that.
a list of the shirts that are regular rotation within Hattori Hanzo's wardrobe. It's got to be. Apparently, it's a Bruiser Brody shirt. It's the producer Tony shirt.
7 Piper shirts.
Yeah, right there you go. That's probably the other 5 days of the week. Absolutely.
Yep.
I think around episode 200, I'm going to put out one episode that is just Hattori Hanzo, like everything he's ever sent to us. I'll go through.
Okay.
We'll just do emails, and that will technically be a week off for us, but it will be the best episode we've ever put out, possibly.
Be like a clip show, a Bitter Marks clip show
Yeah.
of Hanzo.
If we ever need a clip show, that's what we're doing. The last email we got here comes from our dear friend Dawkin Kruger in Seattle, Washington, or somewhere in Washington. He says the Savannah Bananas do a lot of fun gimmicks in and around their games. This one is a batter introducing himself before he bats. So this is a link he sent to us of a video of the catcher. This guy's name is Bill Leroy. And the Savannah Bananas, I assume this isn't a major league team, producer Tony. Can you confirm?
No, that sounds like low single A.
What a name!
Baseball.
How many names got denied before they went with Savannah Bananas? That's fantastic.
Yeah, and whoever came up with that is clearly running the team. Like, the great name. You want to play that video? Let's see if we make it through you playing this video.
Sure, this could get us blocked by YouTube, but here we go.
Get your hands together!
I can't believe that this is real. Dude is standing in the batter's box. Standing in the batter's box, hyping himself up.
Where does
Man.
this fall under etiquette, baseball etiquette?
Oh my
Good
God.
question.
Yeah, he would get a fastball to the ass if he's doing this in the major leagues.
I gotta
right about
major
now.
leagues. Yes, I gotta think on like the minor leagues that the Savannah Bananas are a part of. That this is encouraged, right? Like every batter is probably doing this.
What do you think that guy's day job is? There's no chance he like lives.
Definitely
off
not
of this.
baseball playing,
Yeah.
right?
I
That's a
think
good
he
question.
records a truck podcast while he drives trucks around.
Damn it! That's where I stole my idea from. Well, thank you guys for the emails. We really appreciate them. Keep them coming. And if you send in enough, we will do a clip show of all the emails that you send in. That's a pretty good thing to get out there, I'm pretty sure. Next up, we have the GCW ticket situation. GCW is coming to the Chicagoland area, to Hoffman Estates, Illinois. They're doing a show. We've talked about it the past couple of weeks. They're doing actually 2 or 3 shows. And the one that we were trying to go to, 3 Cup Stuffed, the tickets went on sale at noon on Friday. Also, that went on sale noon on Friday, tickets for Lagwagon, which was $40. And I was like, screw that. I'm not paying $40 to see Lagwagon. The Bobcat Goldthwait show was $30. I can't imagine that Megadeth show was going to be less than $40 until you sent me a link to $20 tickets, producer Tony, and you're
That's
lucky.
a hell of a deal.
Yeah, I'm going because of that. Otherwise, I would have been like,
Oh, nice.
yeah. And I also want to go see Kiss for $20 if anybody would like to join me. I don't know anyone else who likes Kiss.
Where are they playing?
Same place.
Oh, okay.
And anyway, so like I went to get these tickets online, and it said general admission sold out. And I'm like, how does general admission sell out? Peewee, you remember the place. It's a like soccer field / like hockey arena. People just like walk in and walk around. Like there's no possible
there's not
chance.
a lot of seating. It's 11 o'clock at night, and this was before we're gonna get to it later, but this was before all the GCW talk that happened this weekend. This was on Friday afternoon morning.
It was
before anything had already happened.
15 minutes after it had sold out. And so the only tickets that they had left were like 2nd through 5th row. And the cheapest ticket was I think it was $60. And I was like, I'm not paying $60 to go somewhere.
I also wouldn't have purchased those tickets, but not because of the price. I just don't want to sit that close to GCW fans.
Well, you could always just like stand and move back.
That's true. Okay, that's true. Good point.
So then like I was sitting there, and I was driving at this time, and I told you guys in a group text, our dear friend Ivica, Kim Jong-il-matic, who's going with us, Putski. I sent a mass text out. I don't think Putski even understood my text. He was asking questions like I've never heard Putski ask before. But so anyway, I thought the thing was sold out. I thought we didn't get tickets. And then like, I don't know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes later, I was like, I got to check to see if this thing sold out. Like if it was that quickly. And then I went and I checked. And then like the first 3 rows were sold out, but now general admission was available. So I don't know what happened, or if they were just trying to sell out their first couple rows of actual seats before they started GA, or
I could see
GA,
that, yeah.
or GA didn't start until a little bit later. I don't know what exactly happened, but I got the tickets for it. So we are going to IHOP. We are going to that show. But now we might want to go to the other GCW show as well. That's on Saturday night at 8 p.m. For a specific reason. But I did want to bring up one other weird thing. One of the other companies that are doing a show that weekend, they were like plugging the fact that they only had 3 front row seats left. And they were like, get your tickets. If we sell out these 3 plus 8 more tickets, we'll announce the first match. And I was like, what world do we live in? Like, how could you not, like, people don't put out cards anymore. They just sell tickets to the events and they're like, yeah, it'll be good. Trust us. Like, even
I agree. I don't understand.
Buy this before we tell you what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Fuck that.
And at least GCW, I want to say the night before or 2 nights before, they announced who's going to be there. They announced Alex Shelley, who's from the, what's their name? Motor City Machine Guns. He did a NXT event, I don't know, 6 months ago or something like that.
Yeah.
Impact guy generally. Nick Gage, Peewee's favorite wrestler, is going to be there in attendance.
A great human being, stand-up guy, a great wrestler.
Absolutely.
Definitely not a criminal.
No.
I'm paying for Peewee to get a picture with Nick Gage at this show. And then, according to my notes, the other 2 people who GCW announced were Juventud Guerrera, which was,
Jesus.
and Zan Tabak, former Houston Rocket, which must have been messed up in my notes here. But the other person actually is Super Crazy from ECW, so that's kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Get
That's
Bishop
the
up
Saturday
here.
show?
Yeah.
Is
That's the
Saturday
show
or is
we
that...
are going to on Friday.
Okay, cool. That's
All
cool.
those guys are on the Friday show. The Saturday show is a strictly GCW show, which I'm assuming Cardona is going to be there. That's the one where like Nick Gage and whoever else are going against whoever like ran in on the match that happened this weekend, stuff like that. So that's like the strictly GCW, whereas we're going to the mashup show with Black Label Pro.
I see.
So, but who knows, because none of the matches were announced anywhere for this stuff. So, but yeah, so I guess to me, this is the big news of the week. Matt Cardona. You want to talk about this, Peewee? Like, you probably...
Yeah, sure. I mean, there was a lot of big news this week. There is talk that Daniel Bryan is going to AEW.
We'll get there.
Oh, we're going to get there too?
Yeah.
I want to put this over for a second. There is talk that Daniel Bryan is coming back to wrestling at AEW. There is talk that CM Punk is coming back to AEW. Or not coming back, but coming back to wrestling within AEW. And the only thing people can talk about this weekend is Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona in GCW.
Because it was great.
It's unbelievable. We've been talking about it for weeks, and we finally got the big payoff this, when was it? Saturday? Yeah, it was Saturday night,
yep.
Right? I was in Texas, right? So I do the whole show, and usually the plan is to go out after the convention. We go to some barcade, we go to some restaurant, we do something, hang out, and then we do the show, the second day of the show, the next day. I didn't do that. I was too tired. I went to the gym out there after the show, and then just went back to my hotel room, and I ended up ordering the pay-per-view and watching it on my phone, and just laying in bed and watching the GCW event. And did you see the whole thing? Did you see any of it?
You sent me the link to purchase the pay-per-view off of Fight TV.
Thank you.
and I ordered it with a credit card and paid for it.
Absolutely.
And then the feed wasn't good on my phone, and so I didn't get to watch it. But what I did watch was the Twitter feed, like live on Twitter. I just kept watching live feeds, and then it was updated very, very quickly with video clips and commentary and everything.
Well, that's good. Yeah, they don't seem to really care about copyright and replaying of their videos. They don't seem to care about that stuff. I haven't seen a lot of stuff getting pulled because everybody's been posting this stuff on Twitter and all sorts of social media. If you haven't been keeping track, this is the big feud, the big payoff that we were going to see at this pay-per-view was Nick Gage against Matt Cardona. Cardona, in my opinion, is doing some of the best work of his career, where he is an ex-WWE guy. He's coming into GCW, the land of hardcore, and he is talking about how he doesn't want to do hardcore stuff, how he is just an ex-WWE guy who has nothing but money and shouldn't even be there, and how everybody else is below him.
Well, and he's an ECW original.
And that's one of the best parts. Because he was a part of the WWE ECW, so he was legitimately part of ECW, just not specifically an ECW original.
Good. So good.
He calls them the GCW universe, does anything to get under the skin of these guys. And so the GCW fans are just rabid, literal animals, much closer to animals than they are actual human beings. And
Juggalo adjacent. They're
Yes,
Juggalo
absolutely.
adjacent.
They were eating this
Is
stuff
that what
up.
JA stands for?
They could not wait to see Cardona versus Gage. They wanted to see Gage kill Matt Cardona, and that's essentially what happened. It was a massacre on both sides. And I thought the match was very, very well done. Cardona came to the ring in bright white gear, which
so
is not
Nice.
something that he normally does. So and knowing Cardona and how much he loves like storytelling and wrestling, building up stuff and making sure that he's well prepared and how much thought he puts into his gear, I knew one of two things was absolutely going to happen when you saw that gear. He was either going to get covered in blood from head to toe and totally stain that white gear, or to get even more heat, no color at all. Like just at the end of the match, somehow the gear at the end of the match would be cleaner than it was at the beginning of the match. Luckily, I think they would have killed him if that was the case. Luckily, it was not the latter, the first one.
Former.
The former, there you go. Cardona bled all over the place. Gage obviously bled all over the building. They bled all over each other. They bled into each other's mouths. Gage was biting and licking all over. It was, it's
the pizza cutter came out.
It's too much for me. The light tubes and the stabbing with light tubes was all over. It's to me, again, too risky, too stupid, too bloody, too gory.
When you asked if you wanted to go to that, I was like, no, I don't want to be near any of that. I don't think I could do it, man.
The good thing is that the last time we went, we stayed away from it. So like we're not close to the actual.
Oh, we're not close at all. Yeah. We're literally like in the back row of GA, just. Yeah,
right, but you're near people that like that sort of thing. So
but we're going to get into it in a second as far as what type of people these are.
Right.
Also, Jerry Lawler was at that show, and so was Gangrel.
Was that right?
Yeah.
I remember Gangrel. I didn't remember Lawler was there.
Yeah, Gangrel versus Orange Cassidy. Jerry Lawler versus Mance Warner, who also won the tag titles with Bittermark's approved Matthew Justice this weekend in GCW.
Okay.
And then the other match that we wanted to see, not that we wanted to see, but Nick Gage versus Effie.
Yes.
If you remember that was the like hardcore whatever. But anyway, Cardona went through a pane of glass. That to me was like, okay, it's on after that point. But yeah, it was a trash match. It was, like you don't watch it for the wrestling, but you kind of wanted to see what happened the entire time.
I'm curious to know if he was going to go all in like that. You know what I mean? With
that's
Nick
the two
Gage.
things. Is Cardona going? If you're going to go into that environment, is he going to go 100%? And then secondly, is he going to win? Because this Gage was the champion going into the match. If he wins, this is adjacent to Punk winning the belt in the summer of Punk in 2011 or 12, winning at Money in the Bank, taking the belt, kissing Vince McMahon goodbye, and running out the back door with the WWE Championship when he's essentially not with the company anymore.
Spoilers.
No, sorry. Not exactly the same thing, but that's essentially what could have happened. You could have had I was going to say anti-hero, but the antithesis of what GCW is, having an ex-WWE, like, white bread kind of guy, where he's the total opposite of what GCW stands for. The last thing these people want is to have Cardona as their champion, and he won the belt.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cardona
Look
wins.
at that man.
That shirt was
wins.
white, by the way. Remember that shirt was white.
I hope he got tested for hepatitis after this match.
Did I send you the one of his arm as well? Yeah, his arm got messed up completely.
God.
It was like gushing out. If you're watching on the YouTube, be careful. We're going to show gratuitous stuff.
About 5 seconds ago.
If you're listening on the audio, there's gratuitous stuff on our YouTube page. But it was awesome. And then, he's been like tweeting stuff out too. I guess we'll get into that in a second. But let's see how the fans treated him as he got the pin. Producer Tony has never seen this.
Right. Tony's never seen this clip. So Cardona gets the win. There's a bunch of interference, blah, blah, blah. It looks like Gage is going to win. Then interference comes out. Well, I don't know GCW. I don't know their storylines. But one of the, Nick Gage's arch nemesis came out and stopped a bunch of guys from beating down Gage, right? And it looked like his nemesis was coming out to save Gage. He backs off this team of guys. The guys start beating up this nemesis guy, and it looks like, and then they start fighting the back. Him and Gage start getting the upper hand, blah, blah, blah. It looks like they're a team. And then all of a sudden, this nemesis of Gage does exactly what a nemesis does. Gage turns his back, and the nemesis kicks Gage in the balls. And that's when you start thinking, oh, God, here we go. Ryder gets up to his feet after getting beaten down. Rough Rider, or whatever he's calling it, to Gage. 1, 2, 3. Your new GCW champion is Matt Cardona. And here's the reaction from the crowd. Nothing but trash and bottles and beer bottles and full bottles, unopened cans of beer. There was a pizza cutters were thrown into the ring at him. Just a total. It's similar to Hogan, right? It's similar to the NWO starting. It's similar to that. They're throwing trash. But that was 1996. That was Hogan. We're now 2021. We're aware of what's going on. Fans should not be trying to harm performers in the ring, right?
Well, and in 1996, they were not Juggalo adjacent as they are now.
That's true.
Also, those people have terrible aim. By the way, thank God for Cardona's sake that those goddamn inbred hillbillies can't throw a full beer bottle at
If
somebody.
you go back and watch I'll play this again. Watch some of the throws on some of these guys. None of them have an arm. This guy right here. These guys none of them know how to throw a baseball at all.
What happens when you don't leave your mom's basement for 30 years?
So yeah, it's
And so afterwards, Cardona goes, I've been getting death threats towards me. Towards my wife. He tweeted it out. He actually, Dave Meltzer got involved, obviously, and he was like, the involvement of these people, this is an embarrassment to wrestling, to which GCW responded by creating a T-shirt of Dave Meltzer's tweet and selling it, because it is a very GCW thing to do. And by the way, I support that 100%. I love that idea.
I like the T-shirt being made, yes.
Yeah,
but I do agree with Meltzer. I totally agree with what Meltzer was saying.
Yeah, sure. It depends, because half the people in that, I mean, I won't say the number, I won't say half, but there were a lot of people in that crowd who Cardona won over because of this stuff. Then there's the people who cannot be won over because it's Nick Gage for life, and they can't
it's
tell.
Real to me, damn it.
Yeah, they can't tell reality from whatever. And this is one of the best things going on in wrestling. This is that line that you either cross or
and
you
that's
don't
the thing. I'm literally walking a line. To me, if it's an open cup of beer or water or whatever you're drinking, I'm okay with them throwing that. To me that's just heat. And if Cardona can convince them to throw an $8 beer at him, that's heat.
Not a bottle.
But not a bottle. That's the line, right? Not a bottle, not a full bottle, not a can that hasn't been opened. Not pizza cutter. There's definitely a line that needs to be drawn there. It's a weird line that I'm making where, you could throw some stuff at him, just not stuff that's really going to hurt him. Especially after he just did a match where he's going through light tubes and glass panes, and he's getting a pizza cutter across his forehead. It's a goofy line, but obviously it should not happen.
I think the venue has a little culpability here. If you know what GCW is, you cannot sell glass bottles.
Sure.
Or
do the thing where
cans.
You need to open the can and pour it in a plastic cup. Yeah, I agree with you.
You give them a little Dixie cup full of beer and you charge them $8 for it. That's how you treat a GCW crowd. So I can't imagine
we
why.
know that.
Yeah.
But like, does a venue know that? Like, venues are thinking, oh, there's going to be how many people here buying our concessions? Yeah, we'll do a wrestling show. They don't know, like, this is going to happen. Like, that's why GCW ran in the back of an abandoned mall in Villa Park, Illinois. That's why they're running at a old soccer place, like indoor soccer place that me and Giuseppe have played soccer at. Like, they go where they can until they're kicked out. So, like, they're not, no one's, in my opinion, I don't think anybody's asking questions like, will there be, rowdy people? Will, you know what I mean? They're like, get the deposit, get the money. And then if they see something and they're like, oh my God, that was ridiculous. But, like half the time it's just people like, hey, we made money. Like,
they're
we'll do it again.
grifters, basically. They go from town to town, just trying to make money. They're grifters, basically.
Sure. I believe that's what the G stands for.
GCW.
Yes.
See, you figured it out. God damn it.
And another cool thing, afterwards, Cardona tweeted out, or it was on his Instagram, one or the other, how he cleaned the belt because he doesn't know where it's been. And then he took the belt to Disneyland.
He literally has pictures of him and his fiance with the belt in Disneyland. He's totally doing like the super babyface kind of thing to do with it, and it's just making the GCW faithful hate him even more. I know I've talked a lot about Cardona for the past probably year and a half, and Mark Sterling. Mark Sterling was on the second night of the GCW show to deliver Cardona's statement about what happened on night one. And nobody's getting talked about more than Cardona and Mark Sterling right now. And Sterling, again, he's been building up popularity on AEW on a weekly basis, and now he's spreading out to GCW, and he's hitching his wagon to Cardona stuff. I think it's very cool that the guys that I and we have been backing for so long are finally at the forefront of wrestling in general. I think it's very, very cool. Like I said, they're getting talked about more than Punk and Daniel Bryan, who are likely to be signed with AEW as we speak.
And so we are now at the 1 hour mark of this show, and I don't want to go too far, but I do have like at least 3 other things planned for the show. So what I want to do
All right,
is
let's get moving.
I want to send it to the YouTube chat, and they get to pick what we are going to talk about. The one thing that we'll talk about. The other things, we'll talk about them next week, because who cares in timely fashion. One of these things is from 1993. So like
we're not in a rush.
Yeah. Any of this can be talked about at any time. So do you guys want to hear us talk about CM Punk and Daniel Bryan to AEW? Do you want to hear us talk about the couple of things that came to my mind while watching 1993 Raws? Or do we end it strong with something that we promised from last week, where we combine 2 wrestlers' names? And this is going to be kind of like a gauntlet thing where we will go down the list and we will pick the one name that comes out on top and celebrate that man.
Excellent.
As we have, I think Putski gave us like 10 names. I have 5 or 6. I know you guys have a couple. So those are the 3
benefits of live streaming is we can interact with the smooth babies. Now there is a little bit of a delay, so I'm kind of stalling. So
Smart. Love it. Smart.
People can catch up.
I wish I knew how to do like a poll or something. I think that's something
like
we're
a
able
straw
to do.
poll or something.
So here's the 3 things: CM Punk, 1993 Raw, or double names, which is not a Jeff Jarrett thing, but
all right. And we're just going with the. Are we going?
Or a game, I guess.
The majority one that gets voted for, or are we just going with the first one that gets posted in the chat?
That could be both, actually.
Okay, agreed.
Yes.
I will bring this up while we're waiting. WWE has big plans this week.
None.
WWE has big plans this week. You know what those big plans were? They are interested in bringing back Braun Strowman. Peewee.
Oh,
did you leave him your phone number?
I wish. Oh, that's great. I saw him at the one indie show that he went to at the 5 minutes he was away from the WWE. That's interesting.
Yeah, AEW is like, we're going to sign the 2 possibly biggest names we can sign, and WWE's like, let's get Braun.
I think we got a consensus so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Giuseppe brings up a great point. I do agree with this. We need to wait to talk about CM Punk and Daniel Bryan in AEW until we actually see them on television. Until then, I agree. I don't buy it either.
I buy it completely. But yeah, let's do number 3. Hold on, let me shake these papers around. I gotta eat this blow pop. I have one last blow pop, but
Oh no!
Jesus.
Oh,
I don't-
no.
all right. So last week I told you guys a story. I was listening to the radio. I heard this guy's name, Lance Lynn, and I was like, that is the combination of 2 of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Hey, how about a segment where we come up with wrestlers' names who are mixed together? Little did I remember that like 2 weeks earlier, Putski brought this idea up to me, not to do on the show, but just like started messaging me like names of combined people. So like it was already like placed gently into my head, and the Lance Lynn thing made it legit. Now I had asked you guys, like combined skills of people and whatever. And it got to a point where I was like, that's too much work. Like, I don't even want to think about that. I just want to combine names and see what names that we can.
When you pitched this to us last week, it was very reminiscent of a game that we used to play in the car driving back and forth to wrestling shows. That Wang game. Do you remember this?
Not at all. No.
Wow. I don't think I've ever played the Wang game with you, Peewee. Please tell us what it is.
We would. I'm sure. I'm almost positive the Twins will remember playing this.
Was I asleep when this game was being played?
I think he's past the statute of limitations, so you could talk
Yeah, we're
about it
good.
freely.
We're good. We would take a wrestler's name and we would take out one word of their name and replace it with the word Wang, and then we would see who can come up with the funniest one, like the Macho Wang, Randy Savage.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We would just do this for hours. So I just thought that this game that you're preaching to us is another form of this name game. So I'm interested to see how this goes.
All right, it's similar. I have a couple examples here for you. Yoshihiro Tajiri. Jerry would be anybody. Jerry Lawler, Jerry Lynn, Jerry Flynn, if you remember the kickboxer gimmick of WCW, and obviously Yoshihiro Tajiri. We also have Roddy Too Hottie, Roddy Piper doing the Worm. The Wondertaker, which is Alex Wright and the Undertaker.
Whoa,
That's pretty good.
That's a hot start, yes.
And so that's another thing. As we go along with these, you can kind of like figure out which type of wrestler this would be. Like Alex Wright as the Undertaker would have been fantastic. Like the Undertaker doing the Alex Wright dance. Producer Tony hates it, I believe, but that's because he gets Wang in his face. He's played the Wang game with Alex Wright on this podcast.
No, Alex has got the night off. I got something else going on here tonight.
So here's, if you remember, I think the ultimate name that we have to beat, if you remember the name, the Macho Warrior Rick Hogan. Do you remember that guy?
Yes,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that is the name that we are trying to beat with people here. So we're going to do a gauntlet challenge. Like, I'll ask you guys, and then you tell me, of the 2 names, which one is better. And then we'll just go down the line. Is it the one that's winning, or is it the new one that's coming in?
Okay, so who overtakes the current winner?
Yeah.
Okay.
So these are names that, you know what? I won't even say who is saying which name. Whatever. Who cares? Let's just get out of here. It's already 2 hours into this thing. The Fabulous Muda. He spits green mist and is incredibly abusive towards women's wrestlers. The Fabulous Muda. The next name is Bad News Beware. Now, this would just be an intimidating black man with a parrot on his shoulder. What do you guys got? Who do you like better? The Fabulous Muda or Bad
Fabulous
News
Muda.
Tony?
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go with Bad News Beware.
All right, I'm going
break that
Muda.
tie.
I'm gonna go with Muda on this one. The next one, the Boy Hammer Rick Valentine. This possibly
Boy Hammer, what is that?
like Nature Boy, I want to say, without the nature.
Right.
So it's Rick Valentine, but it's the Boy Hammer. This to me takes over immediately.
I think Boy Hammer wins this
All right,
bout.
give it to the Boy Hammer.
Next up is the Brooklyn Booger, a Bastion Booger Brooklyn Brawler, which would just be a very obese homeless man, or the Boy Hammer Rick Valentine. What do you guys got?
I still like Boy Hammer.
Hammer, baby. It's my hammer.
Next up is Shock Mr. Fuji. It's a
that's nice. I
Mr.
like that.
Fuji who breaks through walls, or the boy hammer Rick Valentine.
I got to give it to the hammer.
What do you got? I like the Mr. Fuji.
I'm going boy hammer. I gotta.
All right, boy hammer staying strong.
The Mae Young Bucks. It's two old women who dress identically. One is balding, lots of tassels,
And do super kicks.
Yeah, a lot of super kicks. Mae Young Bucks or the boy hammer Rick Valentine?
Man, I'm torn on that one because I love the shortness and the easy to understand Mae Young Bucks,
Yeah,
but
it's
I
pretty good.
fucking hate the Young Bucks.
I was gonna troll Peewee and pick the Mae Young Bucks. Actually,
That's fine. Yeah, it's fine. They can dethrone the hammer.
All right, Mae Young Bucks advance to take on one Macho Man Gang.
Ooh, okay.
I think that's a reach. I like the Mae Young Bucks still in that matchup.
All right.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm going Young Bucks.
Can I throw one in here?
Yeah, of course.
How about Eddie Guerrero-Otis? I don't have an explanation for him other than just picture Otis going to the top rope and doing a frog splash and then doing like that Eddie shoulder
Followed by the
shake
worm?
thing. Sure, absolutely.
I like it.
Is there a possible way to do the worm but 3 times? Like Eddie Guerrero's triple suplex thing?
The Los Amigos?
I'm going Mae Young Bucks, and then tomorrow I'm going to go get lunch at Los Amigos. What are you guys going with?
What was the full name, Peewee, of your thing?
Eddie Guerrero-Otis.
Yeah, Guerrero-Otis. I'm all in on Guerrero-Otis.
Peewee?
Right, I'll stick with mine, Guerrero-Otis.
Do you have more?
Yeah, sure. Jake the Snake Roberta Faye. No?
No. I'm out on that one.
All right. I got more.
Keep going.
How about a tag team? Ricky Steamboat tagging with Tugboat.
Oh, the boats.
2 boats, yeah.
The Boat Show.
I kind of like that. I kind of like it in ideology and by
Agreed.
name.
I'm surprised they didn't do it. Right.
I'm still going with Guerrero-Otis.
What do you got, Peewee? They're both yours.
Yeah, I know. I like Guerrero-Otis better.
Okay.
I have one last one.
All right.
These are the two probably like the epitome of both companies. WWF had the Macho Man Randy Savage. WCW, the equivalent of Randy Savage was El Dandy. You combined them, and we've got Randy Dandy.
Oh yeah, I'm all in on.
I'm just picturing El Dandy with like Macho Man hat and tassels and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going Randy Dandy on this one.
Randy Dandy all day. Also, rockin' Randy Dandy.
Rockin'
Oh
Randy
yeah,
Dandy.
3-way dance. Yes.
Producer Tony, you have any?
Well, this picture behind me for the YouTube crowd can see where I'm going with this one. If I were to take 2 professional wrestlers and join them into a super wrestler, it would be John Jericho. What a great name. You could that's probably like an NXT wrestler. It's got to be. Like John Jericho.
I would almost guarantee that they debuted today on NXT.
Yeah, 100%.
Halfway as like a troll to Chris Jericho.
Yeah,
Like,
you get John Cena's jorts, right? And then you get Chris Jericho with like the ponytail thing going on he had in the 90s. I mean, that's a great gimmick right there.
I support it, but I think it can happen, and so I'm going with Randy Dandy on this one to continue.
Yeah. Randy Dandy lives on.
Putski does throw a good one out here. Tug Dragon.
I think I liked their first album in 2002.
And Ivica now votes that we talk about 1993 Raw, which is also a great decision. Well, don't worry, Ivica, we got plenty more, so stay tuned. We have, all right, Randy Dandy. Oh, yeah, look at this.
I figured out how to do voting in the chat.
And it's 100% that we should keep doing this for 20 minutes. I love it.
I just voted no.
The $1 million franchise, Shane DiBiase, or Randy Dandy.
Randy.
Okay, Randy Dandy.
All right, these next two, they come with a visual help here. One of them is big, sexy Kevin Sullivan.
Oh, I got
There
it.
he
You
is.
sent me this picture, and I couldn't figure out what you were going for. Okay, that makes sense.
I think we got an artwork cover for this week right there. I'm going with big sexy
There
Kevin
you go.
Sullivan.
Well, there is another one, and I don't have a name for this. Possibly Norman Sexy. Just show the picture. Yeah.
Can I vote for both?
Norman Sexy,
Yes.
like
You
Norman
may.
Smiley. That makes sense. Okay, that makes sense.
Luckily, we only have like 6 more to go, guys. And I know it sucks that you are forced to stay here because you are our friends and you won't leave us. But 6 more. How about Bert the Hitman Prentice?
I almost
had
a Burt Prentice one as well.
Yeah, if you want the real name that I came up with, that you will have to sign on to our Patreon page.
OnlyFans, actually. Yeah. You're gonna want to
How about HB Kaientai?
Oh, I like that.
It's a bunch of Japanese Shawn Michaels.
Who is he going up against? Did Randy Dandy's take it the win, or is big sexy Kevin Sullivan the winner?
I think
can't
Sullivan
remember.
went on, yeah.
Okay.
Sullivan? All right, I'm going to go with HBK Kaientai.
I'd agree with that.
This one is a combination of the Maharaja and the bad guy. This is Scott Mahal.
Ooh,
Mahall.
I like that.
Then there's Coco Beware. He will be one of the new members of the Killer Bees. The B is actually spelled B-E-E.
Jesus.
Personal favorite of mine. This one might get your fancy in a bunch. Does that do something for you? Tatanka Michinoku.
Oh, okay. Now we got a front runner. That's
the Japanese Native American Tatanka Michinoku.
Yeah. Yes,
I
like
had
it.
32 hours in a car to sit there and think about this stuff, and the only thing I came up with was Randy Dandy. How much time did it take you to come up with Tatanka Michinoku?
Seconds.
Oh, you are right. That's amazing.
He's never stopped thinking about Tatanka Michinoku.
So right now it's big sexy Kevin Sullivan, I believe, right?
No,
Is
for
he
me,
still on top?
Tatanka Michinoku took over.
Tony?
Tatanka Michinoku, I think, is going on to the finals here.
Okay, and then this is the last one. This one, once again, comes with a visual. So if you're listening to the audio podcast and you're really bored, just head on over to YouTube. This is Man Mountain The Rock. It is The Rock if he played a WWF-shaped guitar and had long hair. That's the first idea that I came up with, and that's about it. What are you guys thinking here? Tatanka Michinoku or Man Mountain The Rock?
Man Mountain The Rock. No. I like it, but I didn't notice that you put the tattoo on him. I do like that.
The Brahma
I do
bull.
like that. But you can't beat Tatanka Michinoku. That's too good.
Okay, excellent. And
Tatanka Michinoku takes this home.
Tatanka Michinoku will be what gets us in trouble on the internet this week. Check out that artwork when it comes out. I'm sure that will offend all kinds of people.
You're going to take down many races. That's great.
Yeah, it will be fantastic. So next week, we will start off the show strong with 1993 Raw talk. We may or may not talk about CM Punk. We may or may not play Dead or Alive. That's it for this week. Listen, guys, they can't all be winners. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. What's making me bitter this week is the WWE. I turned on SmackDown this week, and I don't know why. You know why? Because I still enjoy SmackDown kind of occasionally sometimes, and I wanted to see what they were doing. They were doing a live show, and then they cut to a concert that had 200,000 people, according to them, in the crowd. It was a rap festival. Wale came out. He introduced the Street Profits, who came out, and the 200,000 people did not care at all. And the WWE had to pump noise, a crowd noise, where there was 200,000 people. And then they did matches on the stage. They had a ring on the stage where it was Carmella versus whatever. Who cares? Who cares? Why are they trying to do this? And why am I watching this? You know what? Myself is making me bitter. Why did I go back? I didn't watch Raw the past 2 weeks. I didn't watch SmackDown last week, and now I went back again. That's it. I'm done. Here's Tony. It's making you bitter.
Bitter Marks trivia that happened last week. There's always a great prize for winners if they sweep a segment. Your boy swept the trivia segment. Peewee, he gets to do Walter Payton doing it right 7-inch, and he cheats at Dead or Alive. I'm out here answering questions, nailing every single one of them. You didn't even ask me a question about Steve Blackman. I would have got that right too. I want a prize.
This bobblehead of my cousin. This is
wow.
He used to play for the Chicago Fire.
Nikola Mirotic? Hell yeah, send that my way.
Pretty close. Either that or a VCR DVD combo. Your choice. Peewee, what's making you bitter this week?
Calendars. I have got too much stuff going on. I had a panic attack in the shower today when I thought that I had double booked myself for GCW, that 3 Cuff Stuffed, and Swoggle show. Both take place on the first Friday of the month. I thought they were the same show. I thought I was going to have to call you and say, hey, I need to send me back my $28 that I sent you for my GCW ticket because I need to go see Swoggle in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Then I realized that Swoggle show is August 6th, which is next Friday. And the 3 Cup Stuff is September. So I was thankfully let off the hook there, but it was a very close one, and I almost had a heart attack.
Still trying to figure out the date of that Swoggle show, huh?
I think I got it. I think I got it. Farouk Mamaluk is also good stuff.
That pregnant pause was great.
Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Bittermarks. Email us, bittermarks@gmail.com. New episodes of this podcast drop every Friday morning in audio form at bittermarks.com or Tuesday nights in video form on YouTube. Join us while we record in our YouTube chat. Tuesday nights live at 9:05. That's p.m. That's Central Standard Time. Last but not least, buy our shirts at prowrestlingtees.com/bittermarkscom. That's COM, as in Mark Bitters is our Facebook name, but I'm not plugging the Facebook page anymore. Peewee, producer Tony, all the smooth babies in the YouTube chat, and the people who make blow pops. See you next week.
Does MOM stand for Men on a Mission or Mabel, Oscar, and Mo?
Bye.